Ladies and gentlemen, BuzzFeed is at it again with another brilliant, amazing, sexist post on their website, and we're gonna go through it today, called "Which of These Men Should You Ban?" Of course, if you're familiar with BuzzFeed's narrative of constantly shaming men, of constantly demonizing men to be terrible, terrible people, you can probably guess where this is going to go. Although I've only checked 2 different men, and of those 2 men that I checked, I should ban them. So out of 9 selections, I'm going to guess maybe only 1 we shouldn't ban is because he has dark skin. But who knows, maybe we'll find out that BuzzFeed actually is more sexist and discriminatory than we actually realize with this new quiz or checkbox or article that they have. So let's get right into it, shall we? Which man should be banned? Which man belongs in the bin? You know, that's such a positive reinforcement towards men, is, you know, which one just deserves to be thrown in the trash, because that's not a problem at all to degrade men or women to that of a trash can. But posted by Natalie, who is this person? Natalie Labadavadiv. Oh, based in London. Oh, that's no surprise. London's turned into a Muslim fest. Okay. Which men should be banned? So here we have the stereotypical Asian, glasses, super white teeth, short hair, looks super intelligent, probably good at really good at math. We have the Afro dude who's probably a hippie. We have the muscled dude who is a redneck with a plaid shirt and a beard who drinks beer out on his fucking trailer. We have the rich businessman who hires prostitutes because has such a big ego that he can't get sex. We have the plumber who cleans your toilets and your showers and all that shit. We have the Abercrombie & Fitch model. Great facial hair, great facial complexion. We have the Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington hipster faggot. We have the black guy. Always gotta have a black guy, right? Or dark skin, I don't know what he is. Jamaican, I don't know what he is. And then we have the suicide girl, not suicide girl. We have the metal dude with the beard and the tattoos. I'm assuming he has tattoos on his chest. Beard, definitely a little bit hipster, but he's into like hardcore metal. Yeah, I know these are stereotypes, but whatever. We're gonna click the very first one, which is the Asian man, and see which of these men should be banned. Here we go. You got it. Yes. You picked the right man to ban. Jim likes to make offensive jokes, and if anyone gets upset about it, he tells them that they're oversensitive and ought to lighten up. The thing is that I've said this in so many videos, so many other people have said this, and I'm not going to go into a whole rant on it, but comedy is subjective. If you're offended by a joke, that is not the jokester's problem that you're offended by their joke. And in reality, I do say that, you know, you do need to lighten up, because you can't control what people say. People have the right to say whatever the fuck they want, no matter how fucked up it is. I myself have a very dark sense of humor, so I laugh at very offensive and very dark, crude things that some people would think that I shouldn't laugh at, because they're too morbid, too dark, too bad. Like, I don't know, I make jokes about my own sexual abuse all the fucking time, and people don't think I should be able to make fun of myself. But you know what? I'm over it. I've dealt with it, and I can joke about my fucking self as much as I fucking want, you know? You can't tell me what I can't and cannot joke about, especially in regards to myself. I don't like using the word oversensitive, but I do think that a lot of these people are very, very politically correct. And can we really blame them with how colleges are promoting be offended at everything? So it's not letting me uncheck this. Do I have to refresh the page? It won't let me check again. Okay, I think I gotta refresh the page. That's really stupid. Alright, next one. We got the Afro dude. Hipster in his like Volkswagen van with rainbow colors. You got it? Yes! You picked the right man to ban. Bernard thinks his advice and opinion is always valuable, even when no one literally, even when literally no one asks for it. The thing is, how is that a reason to ban a man? I mean, I guess some people think that their unsolicited advice, they always have. I do know the people that always need to say something, but Bernard thinks his advice and opinion is always valuable. Not everything everybody says is valuable. I would agree with that. But the thing is, just because someone doesn't ask for something doesn't mean that you can't voice what you think. That's another thing I see a lot of SJWs say, like, no one asked your opinion on this. Well, you are entitled to your opinion. You have a right to speak and say whatever the fuck you want. And just because no one asked for you doesn't mean that you can't speak on an issue. That's the dumbest type of reasoning I've ever heard, is that unless you're asked for your opinion, you can't share it. If that was the goddamn case, I wouldn't be fucking making videos right now. Alright, 2 out of it. 2 men should be banned out of the 9. Let's do the redneck. Plaid shirt. You got it. Yes, you picked the right man to ban. Harry says all of his ex-girlfriends are crazy after the relationships end for legitimate reasons. Well, what if his 4 relationships, 3 of the relationships he was in was crazy? I know I've been in 4 relationships with people, and 2 of the relationships I was in were not good. And I would say that the first 2 relationships I had were with crazy ex-girlfriends. I'm not saying that to demonize or make women out to be bad. I'm saying that because it's a legitimate, actual thing that happened to me. And I've talked about it before in past videos, that I went to court with one of my exes who took me to court under false allegations of things that I attempted to slander her and harass her when she was blocked on everything and I didn't want contact with her to fucking begin with. And she tried to put a harassment order on me, specifically. Her accusations involved slander, but the main thing was she wanted to get a restraining order against me, and it fell flat because she had no evidence to prove that I'd done anything that deemed, harassment or to the extent of getting an order put on me. And the judge saw through her bullshit, plus I had evidence of her threatening to do things and say things about me which were not true, which I backed up. And she was a crazy ex-girlfriend, so you can have a crazy excuse me. You can have a crazy ex-girlfriend with legitimate reasons. This doesn't invalidate anything, and why the fuck does this make him so he should be banned? Because he had a crazy ex-girlfriend who wants him to eat her out on her fucking period? Like, I had a girl like that. She wanted me to eat her out on her period. I didn't do that shit. That's weird. That's gross. I don't have a problem with women's periods. I'd fuck a girl on her period, but hell no, I'm not gonna eat her out on her period. Yucky. Alright. So, that's out of the question. Side tangent there about period eating. True story, by the way. I've talked about it before. Don't ever do it, by the way. It's disgusting. The businessman. Yes, you got it right. You picked the right man to ban. Steven refers to all his female coworkers as darling, even if they're as, if not more senior than he is. Okay, this is actually I think this is the only valid one. The difference is that I in my previous job, I worked at Costco, and I had a bunch of, the majority of the employees at that company were all female. There was males, but it was very not, let's just say there's a lot more female coworkers than males, right? And all my managers who made significantly more money than me, who bossed me around, who actually favored me over other employees, which is kind of ironic considering I felt really bad about it, because they thought I was cute. They would actually call me sweetie and darling and all that shit. And I never liked that. I didn't like being called darling by my fucking, 28-year-old manager, female manager. I didn't like that. I want to be called as Daniel or Dan or whatever, Dano, not fucking, these names. And I think this is actually a legitimate one. You shouldn't be calling your coworkers darling, sweetie, or, stuff. You shouldn't be calling them these types of pet names that you would call someone that you're dating, or in a relationship with, or your wife. Like, I think that's really inappropriate. And so far, I think this is the only valid thing that BuzzFeed has. But again, I don't think you should ban someone for that at all. I think the person would need to be addressed and talked to in upper management, and then they say, you shouldn't call your female coworkers this, or you shouldn't call your male coworkers this. Which, in my position, I never complained about it, because it wasn't too big of a deal, but I didn't like being called that. And it wasn't a big enough deal for me to actually complain about, so it's like, whatever. So here we have the plumber. Let's see what he does. You got it, yes. You picked the right man to ban. Cecil? Is that don't know how to say that name. Cecil thinks that the gender pay gap is caused by women opting to study feminist interpretive dance rather than practical degrees in engineering, despite the gender pay gap existing within identical jobs in the same sectors. See, where is this identical jobs, same sectors? Because as far as I know, jobs like engineering jobs, they pay the exact, from what I've seen, and having family who's a female in our family who actually is in engineering, she makes more money than other males in our family who also do engineering. If not the same amount, like they both make a significant amount of money. Granted, she's worked in engineering longer than the other person in our family has, but that's besides the point. If you get a degree in interpretive dance, you are going to make significantly less money than a man in engineering. This speaks for itself right here, what it's saying, rather than practical degrees. Get a fucking practical degree if you want to fucking make money. A large amount of money. You know, if you want to get a degree in how to dance, how to fucking do yoga, you're not going to make the same amount of person who's doing, like, chemical or software engineering. My dad worked for Boeing. He was a software engineer. He fucking made software on computer screens in Boeing planes. Like, that's a high-paying job. And there's people who are females in his job that were making as much money as him doing the exact same thing. You don't get paid differently. That's illegal to pay someone differently just because they are a female. Granted, you have to take you have to take into account that if a man's been working his engineering job for 25 years and a woman just starts her engineering job, she's going to be probably paid less money because she hasn't worked with the company as long. Same with women. Women make more money than men in engineering. If they've worked there longer, a new man just going in is not going to make as money as someone who's worked there for 20 fucking years. Fucking the pay gap does not exist. Sorry. Alright. Abercrombie and Fitch, man. Let's do it. You got it. Yes, you picked the right man to ban. Barry likes to make advances on random women, but gets very offended if they then reject those advances and tells them they're not that hot anyway. Alright, this is another valid one. Granted, I don't really see this happen very often, but I do know females. I have friends I'm close to in real life who've actually had this happen. A guy makes an advance and they're like, oh, you're a fucking ugly cunt, ugly piece of shit. You rejected my advances. If a guy calls you ugly or calls you a name because you reject his advances, chances are he's a fucking douchebag, sexist piece of shit. Honestly, like, if you are if you just politely say, no, I'm not interested, or I have no interest in you, or anything like that, and they get offended by your rejection, then by all means, they are a douchebag, they are an asshole. I just said that, I'm gonna say it again, because they are. It's not appropriate for a man to call someone fucking a cunt because they got rejected. In my personal opinion, that just goes to show that men can't deal with rejection if they have to respond that way towards a woman. Come on, man, move along. You got rejected, move on to something else. You don't need to fucking get all upset about it. Granted, I haven't really witnessed this myself. I've only been told this by other female friends of this has happened to them. So I can't really go off the validity of how often this happens. But I know I have a lot of female viewers of mine, so if this has ever happened to you, please, by all means, tell me in the comments below if this has ever happened to you. This is a really scummy thing to do. I think this is the only valid thing that they have here, is that the fact that you shouldn't call a woman a name just because you got rejected. So let's go on to the next one here, Mr. Hipster Man. You picked the right man to ban. Andrew loves sharing topless pictures of himself at the gym, but believes women who post pictures of their bodies online need to get some self-respect. No, they don't need to get some self-respect. He needs to get some self-respect because you shouldn't be shaming someone just because they post photos of themselves that are scantily clad on the internet. I don't consider someone a slut or a whore just because they post some cleavage or just because they post body confidence picture. If a guy can be topless, a woman can be topless. I'm an advocate for women being allowed to walk around braless or without any bras to begin with in public. I don't see it as a big of an issue. Breasts are breasts; they're not a private part. But granted, I think that if that was legalized in a lot of places, a lot of bad things would happen because there are men who legitimately can't control themselves and have to say something extremely degrading or sexualized. I do believe that would happen. But in regards to this, if he can share himself topless in a picture of himself at a gym, a woman should be allowed to do the same thing without being shamed, hands down. And if he has a problem with that, then he's an idiot and he's a moron. You shouldn't shame someone for being able to do the same thing that you do. If you want to post yourself nude on the internet as a guy and a woman does it and you think differently, then you're a sexist piece of shit. That's my opinion. And here we have the last one, guys. Second to last, we got the black guy. Do you guys think they're gonna ban him? Because he is dark skinned. He's like the most diversified, other than the Asian man. This man here, the most two diversified guys by far. And we already wanted to ban the Asian because he's white, so a white Asian should be banned. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Oh my lord, guys! BuzzFeed wants to ban dark-skinned people. You got it. You picked the right man to ban. Kevin thinks that domestic duties are the primary concern of women and refuses to do anything that he considers to be women's work. Okay, this is stupid. If you really think that women deserve to be in the kitchen and make me a goddamn sandwich, like if you're... The thing is, I say that, but I say it jokingly. I don't really think that a woman's role deserves to be fucking in the kitchen making a man a sandwich. Those are those are gender roles that are very, very... I believe if you actually think this way, like if you think, oh, I'm not gonna do my laundry, that's a woman's work, that's sexist. It really is. Do your own fucking laundry. I do my laundry. I've lived on my own for almost 4 years now. I've made dinner for a woman before. I like cooking for women, actually. I like making food for women. I get pleasure out of cooking food for other people. I hate cooking for myself, but I like cooking for others. I don't really think that there's anything, quote-unquote, women's work. That's dumb. Men and women can be nurses. That's not a woman's job. Granted, women are better usually caretakers than men, but that's besides the point. Domestic duties, I don't believe that women and men should be subjected to domestic duties that are specifically in, gender role. Men and women should be able to do anything, do your laundry, cook yourself food. There should be no designated domestic duties for men and women. I don't believe that anybody should have that mindset. If you're a guy, you should be able to cook yourself your own food. Plain and simple. And if you really think that it's a woman's job to make you a sandwich, like if you actually think that without jokes aside, then you definitely have your priorities and line of thinking a little bit fucked up, in my opinion. And the final one, guys. You got it. Yes, you picked the right man to ban. Toby loves explaining things to women in great detail, especially if the woman hasn't actually asked him to and has a far greater understanding of the subject than he does. Alright, so how would you fucking know that she has a greater understanding of the subject? Maybe they both don't have an understanding of the subject. And secondly, why is explaining things to a woman a bad thing? Women explain things to me in great detail all the fucking time when I don't ask it. Do you know how many fucking women respond to me and send me goddamn fucking emails who are feminists, who literally complain about my videos and tell me that I'm a terrible person because I am not a feminist, and I'm an egalitarian? Like, I have women explain things all the time to me, and I don't ask for them to explain anything to me. Do I complain and bitch about that? No. I just move along. Like, granted, if you don't want someone to talk to you, you tell them that. You don't just keep listening to them and thinking to yourself, man, this guy's really dumb. I know a lot more info than he does. I didn't ask him to explain anything. And you're right. Like, you don't need to explain something to a woman, and a woman doesn't need to explain something to me. The difference is it happens. Whether or not it should or shouldn't be done, it happens all the fucking time to me. I don't like it, but I don't know. I don't really... You should ban someone because he explains things to women in great detail. What's wrong with explaining things to a woman in great detail? See, the fact of the matter is, when it says women have a far greater understanding on the subject than he does, that's putting men down, because perhaps this guy wants to learn about something new. Well, maybe he wants to learn a new perspective about feminism. Maybe he wants to learn something about gender roles. maybe he's wrong on an issue, and this is your chance as a woman to correct him and correct his viewpoint. If you're truly more understanding of the subject than he is, why not explain to him why he's wrong? But, of course, then women are going to say, well, men always think they're right. Well, maybe for some men, but not all men think that way. So, in essence, ladies and gentlemen, this quiz should which man should be banned? All of them. All of these men should be banned, and quite frankly, this just goes to show the blatant sexism that BuzzFeed has towards men. You do one of these things, you should be banned. You shouldn't be allowed. You should be fucking sterilized. You fucking pieces of cis white gendered shit. That's what you guys all are. So let me ask you, how does this make you feel? Do you feel like your confidence as a man has been bolstered up after this? Do you feel hurt? How's your self-esteem doing right now that you took this ban men quiz? I know for me, I'm struggling really hard right now with my self-esteem because of this quiz. This quiz destroyed my self-confidence. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to ask a woman out again, much less date a woman because of this quiz. It just really put me in my place that I have no rights as a man. I shouldn't be able to allowed to say or do anything. I shouldn't be allowed to explain myself, have an opinion on anything, because this quiz demonstrates the fact that I should be banned. Jesus, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy shit. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hope you guys watched it all the way through. I have a lot more videos planned for this week. All my social media is linked down below, including my Snapchat and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.